Alright, so the preterite is used to indicate sequence of events, interruption, main event, beginning or ending an event, and action completed. So in order to remember this, we're going to use the acronym SIMBA. So the first is S, which stands for sequence of events. An English example of this is I woke up, brushed my teeth, and took a shower. So in Spanish, this would translate to me desperté, me cepillé los dientes y me duché. The second letter is I, which stands for interruption. An example of this was I was watching TV when the phone rang. So in Spanish, estaba mirando la tele cuando sonó el teléfono. So notice how it's imperfect here, and then it goes to preterite right here. So it's kind of setting the scene. So I was watching the television, so the scene was that, and then an interruption like cuando, when, or right there. All right. So then the third letter is M, which stands for the main action. The example of this was it was snowing, so I skied. So it's kind of like because I was snowing, I skied. Again, with the setting the scene using the imperfect. So estaba nevando, así que esquié. The fourth letter is B, which stands for the beginning or ending of an event. Example of this was like that game ended at 2. El partido terminó a 2. And then that was for an ending. And then a beginning verb would be comenzar, which means to start. So comencé llorar, so I started to cry. The last letter is A, which stands for action completed. An example of this was I went to the mall yesterday. This is a definite action in time, so we use the preterite. I definitely went to the mall yesterday. So fui al centro de comercial ayer. So there's a lot of preterite indicator verbs such as ayer, anoche, anteayer, and el otro día, just to name a few indicators when looking for the action completed.
Hi, I'm Pablo, and Stephen Catchell and I will be talking about Dare to Be You regarding the imperfect tense. Dare to Be You is an abbreviation for the different instances when the imperfect tense is to be used. Indication phrases also display when the imperfect is needed. These include a veces, cada día, cada semana, nunca, siempre, and frecuentemente. I will be talking about the Dare section in Dare to Be You. The Dare section talks about description, age, repeated action, and finally emotion. The D stands for description. An example of this in English would be, my brother was tall. In Spanish that would be, mi hermano era alto. The A stands for age. An example would be, the students are 11. Or in Spanish, los estudiantes tenían 11 años. The R stands for repeated action. An example would be, I always visited the school during the morning. Or in Spanish, yo siempre visitaba la escuela durante la mañana. Please take note that the always and siempre are imperfect indicators in Spanish, which we talked about earlier. The E stands for emotion. The example would be, I was very sad. Or in Spanish, estaba muy triste. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.
I'm going to continue teaching you guys about the imperfect. The end of the acronym is to be you. The T in the acronym stands for time. In English, you can say it was midnight. In Spanish, it would translate to era medianoche. The next letter is the W, which stands for weather. In English, you can say it was cold, while in Spanish that would translate to hacía frío. You use hacía with weather. The next letter is O, which stands for ongoing action. In English, you could say, I practice soccer every day, while in Spanish, that translates to practicaba fútbol cada día. Next, we have the letter B, which stands for background information. This is also used when describing. In English, you could say, the theater was very big, while in Spanish, that would translate to el cine era grande. The last letter is a U, which stands for something that you used to do. In English, you could say, I used to play with blocks, while in Spanish, that would translate to jugaba con bloques cuando era niño. Cuando Cuando era niño means when I was young. When creating a verb in the imperfect, an AR verb, you use the endings aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. And when using the ER or IR verbs, you use ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian, with accents on all the I's. Thanks, guys.
Siempre trabajaba para un hombre, ese. Siempre trabajaba para un hombre, ese. Siempre trabajaba para un hombre. Entonces mi jefe me despidió, es cuando cambié.
Mudé a la piscina a buscar un trabajo, pero fui el solo persona allí. Así fui a la cocina a poder cocinar, pero yo olvidé cómo cocinar.
Siempre trabajaba para un hombre, ese. Siempre trabajaba para un hombre.
Pablo, mi jefe me pidió, ¿tienes un trabajo para mí?
No tengo un trabajo para ti, siempre trabajaba para un hombre, ese. Siempre trabajaba para un hombre, ese. Siempre trabajaba para un hombre.